Have you ever found yourself in a department store, home improvement store, supermarket, looking and considering buying something that you were not there to actually buy? You might have been there for another reason, and suddenly you're looking at a bunch of other stuff. Stop. Don't do that. Don't buy the stuff that gets constantly flashed in front of your face at the end cap or the end of the aisle. You'll wind up collecting a bunch of stuff that you really don't need. Why am I saying this? A couple of years ago, my mother passed, and recently, my brother and I had the task of having to dig through my parents' belongings and all the things that they collected over the course of their lives. And it was a process of going through to identify, what are the things that are, meaningful to us that we want to keep for ourselves and within our families. Obviously, things like photographs and pictures and photo albums and more personal effects that mean things to us and is important to us. And then, what are other things that maybe are useful in our homes that we might be able to take, or if not, we can donate to somebody else who might be able to use them. And then after that, it's okay, what's left? And the what's left became really a surprisingly huge pile of what I would say is junk. Things that just really didn't have any sort of value or use or benefit, and were things that we couldn't even like think to give to somebody because it's like there were things that really you couldn't see anybody needing to have. And so we have what is now like a large amount of things that are going to wind up getting tossed and thrown away, which is kind of difficult because your parents collected this stuff, and so to be just throwing away their things is like kind of painful internally, right? You don't want to do that because it's something that your parents obviously had some kind of connection to at some point. And so to have to just throw those things away is kind of a not a fun thing to have to do. But then when you look at them and you're thinking, my goodness, this was all stuff that was like tucked away in closets, put in containers, high up on shelves or in the shed, to just never see the light of day again. And I have to think that these things really didn't bring much in the way of value or benefit to them either, because they were tucked away, they were hidden. Um, and it just got me thinking that we as people have this bad habit of collecting stuff all throughout our entire lives. Things that, I don't know, might have seemed interesting in the moment, but later became unimportant and tucked away and hidden and collecting dust for years upon years upon years, and really providing no benefit or value to you, in your life or in your home. And the enormity of the things that were there in this case for our parents was such that it was like, gosh, we really spend a lot of time just collecting things we really don't need. And it just got me thinking that, as my parents are no longer with us, but yet here all of their things still are, and they are like serving no purpose whatsoever. And it made me think that so much time and energy and money, um, was kind of wasted a bit on all of this crap that maybe could have been channeled in a different way, in the form of spending more time with loved ones and friends and travel and new experiences, instead of in the form of collecting all the stuff that later would serve us no purpose or joy or benefit. So I think we as people really need to stop ourselves when we're in retail environments and we're tempted by all these little things that look nice and look flashy in the moment and think they might be cool, but they really don't serve us any long term purpose or provide any long term joy or benefit. Just stop yourself. Think before you make that purchase, because it could wind up being one of those things that will someday sits in a container or high up in a closet somewhere that then your loved ones will wind up having to go through and sort and figure out, what they want to keep and what gets thrown into the junk bin. So try to eliminate the junk pile if you can. But that's my humble take. Tell me yours, comment below.